Hi everyone, Cremlin here for the techies. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a shiny, glassy looking button. There's going to be a lot of steps to this tutorial, so I'm going to go pretty fast. If you get confused on any parts, please comment and I will answer your questions. Alright, to get started, we are going to make a rectangle. So about this much should be good. Let's make it red. We can change the rounded portions right here, but this looks good for now. Alright, so pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a whole bunch of duplications of this to make a border and different 3D effects onto this one little button. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to make it into a path. So press path and object to path. That's going to be very critical later. Okay, so we need to duplicate it, so press duplicate. Now we have two copies over here. Let's make this copy that we just made a darker red. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do dynamic offset to make the border. So we bring it out here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, now what we want is just the outline of this border. We don't want the entire layer like we see here. So to do that, we need to duplicate this main button again. And now we select what we just duplicated and the outside layer, and we click path and exclusion. And so now what we have left is just this border here, which is what we wanted. Alright, now to make this border look three-dimensional. To do this, we will need to duplicate this border, so duplicate once again. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the fill, but actually before we do that we need to do a little dynamic offset. So to see what we're doing, let's change it to white for now, and go to path, dynamic offset, bring it in just a bit. Right there should be good. Alright, now we can go into into fill and stroke. Let's give it a linear gradient here. We want it to be moving from up to down, as this is going to be the lighter portion of our 3D effect. Okay, there we go. We want a little blur, so let's try 1.5, that should be good. Alright, that looks fine. And last thing we want to do with this portion is to move it up just a tad so it's on the outside portion of our border. Alright, that's fine. Now we could do the same thing only with a dark fill on the bottom, but I think you can figure out how to do this from what I just did. Alright, so let's move on to making the main button look three-dimensional. Alright, to do this, to give it a glassy look, we're going to have to make a kind of white reflective surface. Alright, to do that, we're going to duplicate this one once more. Let's change it to white for now. We will use dynamic offset to bring it in this time, so about that much should do. Alright, yeah, that's good. Okay, and now what we're going to need to do is to create the border along here for our shiny outline. Alright, so to do that we're going to make an ellipse. We're going to make it, let's make it green so we can see what we're doing. We will make it like this. Actually, I want to give it an opacity so we can see what's going on behind it. So around 50 should be good. And let's move this over just a bit. Alright, that looks good to me. Now, to just select this area in here, which is what I'm aiming for, we're going to select our ellipse and our white button. We're going to go to path and we will press intersection. Now what we have left is just this little part right here, which I'm going to make into the gleaming effect. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go back into our first fill and stroke tool, give it a linear gradient, and now move the nodes around so that it fills from top to bottom. Okay, that looks fine. Alright, and the last thing we're going to do with this button for now is we're gonna shade the button in on the bottom to make it look more three-dimensional. So to do that, we're just gonna take this main button, we're gonna duplicate it. I told you there's a lot of duplications here. We're gonna make it say gray, 80% gray, and now we will give it a linear gradient. Let's move the nodes around. So here we go. Here's our basic button with a gleaming glassy surface and a nice three-dimensional border here. Now we could add some more details onto here, like giving a shadow to the border out here, which I mentioned before, and giving shadows on the edges to make it even more three-dimensional. Make it look like it's bulging outward, but that's it for now. I think you can infer how to do the rest. Thank you. This has been Cremlin for the Techies.